All right, today we're jumping into the epic fairy tale of Arcus. We're going to distill this huge story of tyranny, heroism, and some serious magic, all in just a few minutes. Let's do it. So right off the bat, this is the big question, isn't it? It's what the entire story hangs on. The stakes are just unbelievably high for the people of this cursed kingdom Arcus.
And here she is, our villain, Queen Shija, aka the Diamondess. And you know this one quote? It's everything. It lays out her single biggest weakness, the secret that could literally bring her entire empire crashing down.
Okay, so to really get what our heroes are up against, we first have to talk about Arcus itself. It's a pretty bleak place, and we need to understand exactly where the queen gets all her power from. So this Queen Shija, the Diamondess, for 1,000 years, she's been a force of pure misery for the people of Arcus. Her power? It literally feeds on fear. And she keeps it going with this awful annual ceremony where she demands the most precious items from her people. Imagine that. She just takes the best of everything, draining the kingdom of all its joy and creativity.
So here's the deal. Her magic only works if she has these three specific things at the same time. But, and this is a big but, there's a crack in her armor. See, during the last ceremony, a hero actually managed to steal her ring. This weakened her, just a little, but it was enough to give the people of Arcus their first tiny spark of hope in a long, long time.
And with the queen just that little bit weaker, suddenly there's a chance, a real path to freedom. And wouldn't you know it, a prophecy points to two very unlikely heroes.
So who are these heroes? First, you've got Jono. He's a street magician, a storyteller who looks after the city's lost kids. Then there's Sarah Ja, this incredibly resourceful and independent girl whose parents were, well, they were victims of the queen, turned to stone.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. They both find this petrified hero, Morius, and he's holding two identical notes. And both notes say, "You have been chosen." So naturally, they each think they're the one, the only one. It kicks off this rivalry, this conflict, before they figure out that maybe, just maybe, they're supposed to do this together.
For Saraja, this is deeply, deeply personal. I mean, her parents were turned to stone. So in her mind, it's pretty obvious who the chosen one is. She feels like this whole thing is on her shoulders, and hers alone. So she actually turns Jono down at first and decides she's going to go it alone.
All right, so the mission is simple, but it's not easy. They have to get those three powerful items before the queen does at the next ceremony, because if she gets her hands on all three, her power gets a recharge for another 1,000 years. No pressure, right?
So, pretty quickly, they figure out that going solo is a non-starter. They have to team up. And their first target? The most beautiful dress in the kingdom. They get themselves jobs with a royal tailor, and, using a little bit of cleverness, they manage to swipe the dress right from under her nose. Boom. Obstacle one down.
And you can see their teamwork really starting to click now. Next up, they infiltrate the royal bakery. And after some hard work and a pretty daring plan, they snag the largest candy cane. Just like that, item number 2 is off the list.
Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. But the last one, it's the most dangerous by far. See, the most precious jewels aren't just sitting in a box somewhere. Nope, they're all in the queen's crown. And she's going to be wearing it during the ceremony. They literally have to steal it off her head. So here we are, the big ceremony. You can just feel the tension in the air. The entire kingdom is watching, and this is Jono's moment. He steps up and announces he's going to perform the greatest magic trick Arcus has ever seen. It's the perfect diversion, and it grabs everyone's attention, including the queen's. And while everyone is looking at Jono, Saraja in disguise walks right up to the throne. She holds out what looks like the stolen ring, like she's handing the queen her final victory on a silver platter. But it's all a setup. The trap is being sprung. And the queen? Oh, she just laughs. She's so arrogant, so sure of herself. All she sees are a couple of kids with what she calls cheap magic tricks. She has absolutely no idea what's really happening, completely underestimating them. And then, the final move. It is brilliant. Jono performs his grand finale, and poof, the real stolen ring appears all the way across the room. Every single person, including the queen, turns to look. And in that one tiny moment of distraction, Saraja swaps the queen's crown for a fake one. And just like that, they have the third item. They've got it. So, let's recap. The dress is gone.
The candy cane is gone, and now the crown is gone. The queen no longer possesses all three items, and without them, her power is broken. Her connection to all that dark magic just shatters. 1,000 years of tyranny dawn in a flash.
So, the queen is defeated. The people of Arcus are finally free, for the first time in 1,000 years. But now, what happens next? What do you do after a millennium of being ruled?
And this is such a powerful moment. The people, they're so grateful. They offer the crown to Saraja. They want to make her the new queen. But she says no. She refuses it. She realizes that replacing one ruler with another isn't the answer. She breaks the cycle, telling the people that they should rule themselves together.
You know, when you really boil it down, this is so much more than just a fairy tale. It's a story about good versus evil, sure, but it's also about hope beating fear. It shows how the courage of just a couple of kids, backed by their community, can topple even the most powerful tyrant.
And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? What truly gives a community its power? Is it a single ruler wearing a crown, or is it the collective courage of its people, all standing together?